We cannot have a government. The anarchists believe that we would be better off if we had no government, but I don't see how not having any kind of governance or any way to keep things straight and like you just said, to reciprocity.
Yeah.
Using the big words now. So what does that mean? That
well, before we can have any logical discussion, is that we really have to define the difference between government and the state. And I've debated anarchists, and they say that you're just using semantics or you're parsing words or whatnot, but they are clear and concise, separate things. Government and the state. Government's a natural occurring event all over the place. It occurs in nature. It occurs within family units. It occurs with social clubs, condominium association. There's always governing of human action by self-governing, self-discipline, or within the family unit. And so governing is sort of like you want to have collective bargaining. Well, that's one thing. And then a union, once a union is formed, that's sort of like the difference between like governing and the state, collective bargaining and a union. The state is more of a solidification of governing, and the state gets to the point where we talked about the controllers get involved, and they start making rules and they start ruling instead of governing. The way I like to explain this is if you come to a stop sign and you want to turn left and I'm at the stop sign on the other direction and I want to go straight. Well, if we had somebody there, a traffic cop or whatever governing, they'd say, Mike, you go straight. Okay, now Bink, you can go. That's governing. But if that same cop said, Mike, you can't go straight. I want you to go left. And Bink, you can't go left. I want you to go to straight. Now you got ruling going on, not governing. And that's the way I like to explain the difference.
So a statist would be a ruler.
Right.
Where a governor or governing is just, it's not ruling.
It's not ruling and controlling.
It might be making rules and laws.
Well, the rules and the laws would be on the basis of securing rights, and it wouldn't be on the basis of prohibitions. It wouldn't be prohibiting something. It'd be more like on, if this violation occurs, then this is what will happen.
Well, for instance, there is a law that says that if two cars end up at an intersection at the same time, the car to the right has the right of way.
Right.
So that would be a governance type thing.
Right.
Rather than a ruling thing. It's just there's got to be some common sense somewhere so people know how to...
Rules of the road.
Right. Many anarchists are dangerous, are very dangerous. He made that point.
Yeah, I would make the opposite point. Of course, he's labeling many anarchists as the constitutional limited government type folks. It's calling them many anarchists. I guess that's an easier term to use, but it's not really descriptive. But they say that many are anarchists, and I guess I should just throw that term away and reject it. It's sort of like people get in the habit of using the term democracy, and we don't have a democracy. So it's a misnomer. But the limited government folks, the anarchists want to claim that they're dangerous because the minimal government will grow to a gargantuan government that'll be tyrannical and suppressive. And I say the opposite. It's the anarchists that are dangerous because they're not fighting against the tyrannical government. They think they can wish it away. And if everybody would only agree to be an anarchist, then we'd have a wonderful society. And so they say you shouldn't participate at all. And that's like saying, well, let's not fight back and let's be like Gandhi. And that would kind of be great if everybody does it. But if everybody doesn't agree to it, they're their ideology is like sitting in front of the tanks at Tiananmen Square, where the Red Chinese Army runs over people. You know, it's not exactly the mode of operation to be surviving.
Yeah, it seems like the anarchy motivation here, or the outcome of believing in anarchy, is to do nothing. And it seems like doing nothing is the thing that got us in the situation that we now are in, with a government that's big, that wants to control our every move.
Well, yeah, and it's like doing nothing against the bully, if you will. What they'll say is that we create the bully, but because we create government, so we're creating a bully there. But see, that's because we've lost control of it, and it's almost like we create government to deal with bullies, and then government becomes the bully. Then they claim that government's bad, therefore, because government is now a bully.
Yet he keeps making points in here that people are basically immoral, and they will always try to take advantage of other people. You know, and he keeps going through these statements about how bad we are. That proves your point, does it not?
Yeah, actually it does, but he says, you know, it proves his point that because we're bad, then you don't want this monopoly of force and monopoly of violence. But you see, you will get a monopoly of violence if you have no counteracting force to limit it. And that monopoly will grow from little seeds. Let's say, with this idea of no centralized governing authority, if you will, no one to make the rules of the road. Maybe they think that I live here in this little burg, and we make the rules of the road here, and if they want to make the rules of the road somewhere else, and you know, that somehow that they're just going to have agreement with that automatically, just going to grow up. That's not realistic. So when he talks about government being the bully, he ignores the fact that there already exist bullies, and that's why we create government. And if we don't have government dealing with these smaller factions of bullies, these smaller factions of bullies will grow to be bigger bullies.
Well, they'll buy Harley Davidsons and make a gang.
They'll make their own gang, and they will be ruling, not governing.
If they fail, then tyranny reigns. I guess he's talking about many anarchists here being very dangerous.
Yeah, basically, because, you know, the concept they're arguing the concept, you don't keep government small, and you fail at that, then it's going to grow up to be a gargantuan monster and be very dangerous. And that's absolutely true. It's like Washington talked about it when he mentioned that fire was a fearful mistress. Fearful. It was a dangerous mistress and a fearful servant. So fire is very dangerous, but it serves you.